What is a good strategy for investing in the S&P 500? In my opinion, the S&P 500 is part of what I would call a solid foundation for every single investor's portfolio. And we can get really complicated with it, which maybe we'll do at the end of the video. But the way I view an S&P 500 is, or ETF is, it's the kind of thing that you invest in every single month for 30 or 40 years. It's the kind of thing that is an all-the-time investment, not a strategy of like, ooh, markets are down, maybe now. It's consistency is key here. And there's a couple ways to go about it, right? Lump sum investing, which means you buy it all today. And in relation to this, it would be like if your only investment was an S&P 500, you didn't want a technology, you didn't want dividends, you just wanted the easiest possible, most conservative investment possible, and you went with S&P and you put it in your Roth IRA, which is for retirement for when you're 60 years old, the max contribution is $7,000. So one strategy is the first day of January, I'm just going to buy it all right now. Max out my Roth IRA. I'm just going to buy it, and that's it. Lump sum investing is better because you're starting at the earliest with the most. The alternative is dollar cost averaging, which means every single month you put in $200 or $300 or whatever you can. If it's 50, it's 50. If it's 100, it's 100. If it's whatever, it's whatever. Which is also a great strategy if you do not have access to $7,000 right now to put all into the one thing. By the way, we're going to look at a calculator in a second, but I'm a huge fan of having two accounts. A Roth IRA for when you're 60, 59 and a half is really when you can start taking money out of it, and an individual account, which is for the more immediate future. You need to renovate something in your house, you have to pay off a bill, a parent comes and lives with you, you want to get divorced. Any number of things where you have your own set of money that you can pay for something if you have to, right? It's like you don't really want to touch that money, but boy, you're going to be glad it's there when there's an emergency and you can go, oh, I can sell 100 shares of this thing. Now, if that's your strategy, more diversified, then what I would personally do is I would put a technology ETF in my Roth IRA. Technology, I'm going to put some on the screen here. They disproportionately outperform the S&P 500 over a 30-year period. Short term, though, they're very volatile. Markets can swing dramatically with technology. So as an investor long term, in my eyes, I'm viewing technology as the biggest investment I'm going to have. I want to avoid taxes on that. So I'm going to put the most heavily taxed investment in the tax sheltered account. And in my individual account, I'll put the S&P and I'll put the dividend. And then, if I earn dividends on the S&P and the dividend fund, in the meantime, you'll pay taxes. Who cares? It's okay. And if you sell stuff at any certain point in time for a profit, you might owe taxes on that. It's fine. Okay, it is what it is. But if you don't want other investments and you only want S&P, you max out your Roth IRA and you still have the individual account, because if you're really fortunate to have more than 7,000, you could continue to invest in an S&P 500 in your individual account too, like a spillover account. I maxed this out, I'm going to keep investing in the other one, even though the other one might be taxable. No big deal. So the first thing I'll note is that the $7,000 number changes every couple of years, right? A couple of years ago it was $6,500 was the max. In a couple of years it'll be $7,500, but I'm going off $7,000 because that's what it is right now. And we're putting it in the S&P 500, which has an average rate of return of around 12% these days. So I'm making it 9% because we're factoring in inflation. And again, you're going to lump sum invest at the beginning of every year, $7,000. And by the time you retire, you will have $1.1 million. Now, what happens instead if you cannot afford to lump sum invest? You put in, say, $580 a month, and you do this every single month for that same 30-year period. You'll have $1 million. So just a little bit less, which lets you know that lump sum investing is better if you can afford it, but if you can't, you will still end up with $1 million in retirement. Recently, I've seen so many comments of, should I just wait? Should I just wait until next year? Should I just wait until the recession and then I'll start? No, waiting is a loser's game. The longer you wait, the more expensive it becomes. The more money you will have to invest every month to get your $1 million or $1 million+ in retirement. And by the way, this is what it looks like if you wait just one more year to start. So instead of investing for 30 years, you invest for 29, $912,000. What if you wait 2 years to start investing? You miss out. Now you're making 830. The point is, the longer you wait, the more expensive it becomes. So instead of 580 a month, you'd have to invest in the thousands. Don't wait on this kind of thing. You are starting. So start now when markets are at all-time highs. Who cares? 20, 30 years from now, you won't look back and go, if I had just waited 2 more months, it doesn't matter. And when markets drop, as they inevitably will, right? Markets are like this short term, but when you look at the long term, they're up. You'll buy when it's down. You'll buy when it's up. It'll all average out. So it'll all be okay. But really, there's not really like a strategy. It's just invest and stay consistent. Make sure you smash that follow. Thanks for watching. See you later.